What's up? Welcome to your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Friday afternoon, January 19th, 2023. Let's get into it. Big news coming out of the Woody today, last night, whatever. A lot of reaction today. The word came trickling out late last night, but we're going to get into it. The Buckeyes hiring offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien. That is topic number one here. That's what we're going to address first. Then there's a couple kind of chips, dominoes, moving in at the same time here. You got Corey Dennis not being retained. His contract expires at the end of this month, so not being re-signed at all. And then you got Brian Hartline. Hartline will be a co-offensive coordinator. Okay, so basically, not a big change for him. Still be doing the receiver thing, of course. You're not going to move him off that, and we'll see how that new dynamic works out there. But let's get into it. I do have some recruiting updates I want to hit you with first. My question for the chat, let me drop it in there right now, is yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down, however you want to vote. Just give me your opinion. Did the Buckeyes, by making this move with the OC, did they upgrade the coaching staff? Let me drop it in the chat here. So please give me your reactions, and we'll get into your opinions. So got some people popping in already. So let me give you some of the recruiting stuff right off the top here. PC always says he wants the bad news first. So 2026 quarterback Jared Curtis, we talked about him a while back. He was scheduled to be in for the junior day this weekend on Ohio State's campus. He's a 6'4", 225-pound quarterback out of Nashville Christian School, class of 2026. Nationally right now, he's ranked number 19 overall, number one quarterback. He just got a crystal ball to Georgia. So, yeah, probably not a good look, not a good start for the Buckeyes, but canceled his visit to the Buckeyes and then got a crystal ball immediately after that to Georgia. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. 2026 is so far away. I mean, it fucking 2024 just started like 5 minutes ago. So we'll see. Then we got 2025 defensive back Dorian Brew. He is postponing his commitment. His original date was January 24th, coming up this week. But he's postponing. He wants to take a few visits and then go from there. So we'll see what happens. It's never a good sign when a kid's ready to commit and he pushes it back, but it does not mean it's the end of the world either. So that leads me to the Ohio State quarterback room. It looks like it's going to be stacked and packed and jacked. 2024 5-star number one quarterback in the 24 class, Julian Sayin. He has entered the portal. He just enrolled at Bama over a week ago. Ohio State and USC are the favorites, but Ohio State has got 3 crystal balls already today. His recruiting profile, he was a 6'1", 195-pound quarterback coming out of Carlsbad, California. He was number 5 player in the class, number 1 quarterback, and obviously number 1 player in California. Committed to Bama, enrolled, like I mentioned, just a little over a week ago. So he's in the portal. Buckeyes are the favorite. And we'll get in, we can talk more about how that affects Aaron Nolan. At this point, though, I think competition is best for every position group. I don't think you can be, and looking at it from Ryan Day's point of view, where his ass is on the line, your ass is on the line, but you gotta compete, and you gotta bring in as much talent as you can. So I got no problem with it. I think if Aaron Nolan is a true competitor, then he should be okay with it. And may the best man win. Now, that will probably push one or two guys to the portal after spring, I would guess. If Sayan does come in, we'll see. Because that'll make 5 scholarship quarterbacks in the room, right? They typically wants 4, but this is high level quarterback quality. So you got to bring in everybody. Um, so getting back to the Bill O'Brien news, Billy O, what should we call him? Billy O, ass chin, anus face. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the guy personally. I think he's kind of a dick, but he's a big name. He does a good job as an offensive coordinator. Maybe not such a good job at head coach. I don't know. Let's get through it here. So Bill O'Brien's hired. The official statement is Ohio State head coach Ryan Day announced Friday that Bill O'Brien, 34-year coaching veteran who has had successful coaching positions in both the NFL and college football, has been hired as Ohio State's offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Point number 2 in this statement, Brian Hartline will be co-offensive coordinator in addition to continuing in his capacity as one of the nation's premier wide receiver coaches. And point number 3, this is one of the more important ones, is it's anticipated that Corey Dennis, quarterbacks coach, the past 4 years will transition into a still-to-be-determined role with the program. I don't know if you ever want to be transitioned into a still-to-be-determined role. It doesn't sound too good. We got some tickets for you. You wanna head on up there into the bleachers? Anyways, so let's talk about Bill O'Brien here. Let's get to know him a little bit. For 5 years, first off, on Ryan Day, he's trying to do too much. Head coach, he's trying to be offensive coordinator, play caller, quarterbacks coach, plus recruiting. His offensive coordinator and play caller talents are what got him the job at Ohio State in the first place, right? But the job description of a college football head coach has changed drastically over the last 5 years. And Day has to make changes. His ass is on the line. He's got to empty the barrels, whatever analogy you want to use. He has to do everything because, again, his ass is on the line. It's his job. He could lose his job at the end of this 2024 season if things don't go his way. So Bill O'Brien comes in. He's 54 years old. Last season, 2023, was the Patriots offensive coordinator. He, before then, was head coach at the Texans and then head coach at Penn State as well. We'll get into some of his other roles here. But O'Brien is going to be brought in to be the head coach of the offense. Just like Jim Knowles is the head coach of the defense, O'Brien, head coach of the offense, all right? The biggest thing that he brings is a veteran voice in the room, kind of like, remember Kevin Wilson was that experienced play caller, a lot of years in coaching. So that's going to let Ryan Day take on that CEO role as the head coach. Offensive coordinator, QB coach, and Ryan Day. So he's giving those OC and QB coach duties off to O'Brien. He'll be heavily involved in the offense, Ryan Day will for sure, and in quarterback recruiting. But now he will have a little more time on his plate to help recruit other positions. He can be that closer like Urban Meyer was. You bring in the big guns, to close the deal on a big time recruit. So now Day has the time to do that. But with Bill O'Brien calling plays, Day can also be a better game manager on Saturdays. That's important to me. No more fumbling these calls and these drives with 30 seconds to go in the half and trying to kick a 50-yard field goal. So he can focus on the in-game situations. That's key. So with O'Brien replacing Corey Dennis, Dennis was the quarterback's coach for the last 4 years. He was just on the road recruiting on Wednesday. But a little bit on Bill O'Brien's career as a coach. He's from Massachusetts. So you got that, Boston area connection. He played football at Brown, began his coaching career at Brown, then Georgia Tech, Maryland, and Duke. His first NFL job was with the Patriots. He was with them for 5 years as OC and quarterbacks coach with Tom Brady, of course. Then he coached Penn State 2012 to 2013. He was named Big Ten Coach of the Year in 2012 for leading the Knits to an 8-4 record while they were dealing with those dumbass heavy sanctions they got from the Sandusky scandal. Never made any sense to punish people that weren't even there and weren't even involved. Then 2014, he's hired as the Houston Texans head coach, was there for 7 years, went to the playoffs 3 times, and then was fired when they went 0-4 in 2020. Then 2021, Saban hires him at Bama as OC and quarterback coach. Bama ranked 6th nationally in scoring that year, 39.9 points. And then Bryce Young won the Heisman under Bill O'Brien. 2022, Alabama ranked 4th nationally, averaging 41.1 points. So they went up from 21 to 22 in their average. And then, of course, in 2023, this past year, Patriots offense was pathetic. I don't watch NFL much, but I did do some reading, and they averaged 13.9 points per game, tied for worst in the league. So, yeah, there's that. So he's been hired by Belichick and Saban. Belichick twice, actually. So these guys seem to know quite a bit about football. I would venture to say, well seasoned in the game. So does that make you feel better? Then some lingering questions out there. Who does Bill O'Brien bring with him? Does he bring his own O-line coach that he prefers? Or does he just bring a couple analysts, off-field guys that technically can't coach, but come on, they're all coaching. So we'll stay tuned for that. We'll find out if there are any other changes, any other additions, subtractions, whatever. Because the Buckeyes do have one open coaching position. So I think this is good for Heartline to learn under a real OC. Maybe he can get a lot of one-on-one time with Bill O'Brien. Learn what it takes to call an offense, play calling, even coaching quarterbacks. I think that could really help Heartline's resume going forward. Because I'm sure he wants to be an actual OC and eventually a head coach, right? And then Corey Dennis, he's probably looking for a job, really. If he doesn't find one, then Day will probably make him an analyst, an off-field coach. So we'll see. If they do not add or make a change, if they do make a change to the offensive staff, it still leaves open a defensive coach position, I would think. So we can talk about that later, but let's focus on Bill O'Brien, the offense, and what this means to the Buckeyes. Let's pop in the chat and see what is happening. I don't think I have anybody joining me today. Jeff and Sean are not in today, but hopefully they will be here Sunday night. Don't forget 7:30 Sunday night. So let's check the chat here. Billy is the first one in. He says, Wilt Fong and others have saying crystal to Buckeyes. Yes, holy smokes. Oh, hey, Joe. Hello, Billy. Hey, Joe. Yeah. A little Hendrix for you, Billy. Fake Greg Madison says, Bill O'Brien today. Hey, I recruited Sayin to Bama and he wants to come to Ohio State. Yeah, legit. So what he's saying is Bill O'Brien could recruit Sayin twice to two different schools. Fake Greg Madison is on fire. He says, Day, Bill O'Brien, we don't want to hurt Ayers' feelings if we bring him in. Then Bill O'Brien, WTF. Okay, I think we could all see that playing out in our heads. Well done. Billy says Air will probably transfer in spring if we sign Sayin. Wouldn't blame him. I don't know. Why is that? It's not like Air is going to start this year. I don't know. I'm not sure I agree that anybody, especially Air, a guy that is just coming in, he just got here like a week ago. Why would he transfer? Billy says, I heard Bob's first order. So we're calling Bill O'Brien Bob now. Okay. So Billy says, I heard Bob's first order of business was to go to Nashville and talk to Jared Curtis. That's fine. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Can't hurt. Odysseus says, OH. I say IO. Hummus Hero was back. The guacamole gangster. He says, keep Nolan no on saying. Okay. So we're taking sides now. You can't have both, right? Is that what you're saying? Can't have both? Billy says, why Hummus Hero? Odysseus, to the question to the chat, did the Buckeyes upgrade the coaching staff? Odysseus says yes. Travis says 100% yes. Singer says hope so. Billy says yes. That's all the answers I see so far. Keep dropping them in there if you haven't voted. Let's see. Odysseus says eyes in the sky. Yeah. Never lie, right? Hummus Hero says Sayin is smallish and didn't play the quality of high school ball. Also, Ayers, better athletes, seem to have super high character. Right. So why can't we have both? That's my question. Well, Odysseus, I get your point. We had zero eyes in the sky last year, meaning the OC was not up in the booth. But Bill O'Brien has always been on the field, right? I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure I've ever seen him in the booth as an OC with New England. I thought he's always, and with Bama, was he in the booth? I thought he was on the sideline. Anyway, Travis says we're going from having no OC to having a veteran NFL and college OC, and we didn't have to lose Hartline. Excellent point, Travis. Sunny side up. I love it, Travis. Odysseus says, where did Sayin play his high school? Which state? California. Sayin was from Carlsbad High School. I can't tell you. Well, I could tell you. I could look up what their football program division was. I don't know how they do shit in California. It may all be ass backwards for all I know. Let's look them up. Home of the Lancers. Of course it is. Why isn't it just home of the future plastic surgeons, right? Head coach. They're in the Avocado League, Division One. It says Division One. They went 10-0 this past year. Division One seems pretty good. So I'm not sure he played bad competition. I don't know a lot of schools. Let's see if we can find their schedule. See who they played, and maybe that'll ring a bell. They played Inglewood. Inglewood always up to no good. That doesn't sound like a good game. They played Mater Dei, San Pasqual, Castile, Ramona, a lot of Spanish names, Mission Hills, Poway, suddenly turning into a Jim Rome show. Poway, have a tape, don't suck. Torrey Pines, the golf course. They played the golf course. No, La Costa Canyon, El Camino, and Granite Hills. Lost to Granite Hills in OT to finish the season. So I don't know. Doesn't seem like seems decent. I'll do some more homework on that. Billy says, "Yeah, I thought he is a little small. Air seems to love being a Buckeye. Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, Saiyan was 6'1", 195. Let's see, still 6'1", 195. How about that?" Um, Billy says Carlsbad, California, close to me. Oh, sweet, Billy. Travis says keep Air and bring Saiyan. Why not? That's my point, Travis. On the same page. I got to get a drink of water. Oh. Right. Odysseus says, isn't South California high school football competitive? I thought so. I reading through that schedule, it looks like it. Odysseus says Bob. Bob it is. All right. We'll keep it simple. Hey, Bill, your name's Bob now. How do you like that? Travis says Saiyan is the number one QB in the class. We should never turn down the number one ranked player at any position. Again, yeah. That's my opinion, man. Competition, man. We need competition in every position group. I'm sure this is Ryan Day preaching to all of his assistant coaches. Competition, competition, competition. Your ass is on the line. My ass is on the line. Where's the Tylenol? PC says not a big fan of guys that bounce around either, but Bob seems like he will be the adult room. Yep. I think so, PC. He's kind of replacing that Kevin Wilson vibe, the way I get it, but more head coaching and OC experience. I mean, if we're comparing apples to apples here, freaking Bob has been coaching longer than goddamn Corey Dennis has been alive. This is a no-brainer to me. But anyway, maybe that's not apples to apples. Bob's to Corey's, whatever. Thomas Hero says, yeah, it's not bad competition. It's just that Air played in the best conference in Georgia, playing SEC defenders every game, basically. I understand your point. Again, Saiyan is the number one quarterback in the class. He wants to come to Ohio State. You take that. You take that call. You take that guy. Billy, excellent point, Billy. Or wait, PC says in tough game moments and more importantly throughout the week, Day can't do it all. That's exactly right, PC. Billy says Air's stats were pretty down this year. Yeah, they were, Billy. Excellent point. Hamasiro says, I just really like Nolan and don't want to see him bounce, but like Joe said, he should want to compete regardless of who shows up. Yeah. Odysseus says if Saiyan commits, Brown and Keenholz possibly bounce. That's possible. Yeah. Yep. I do find this interesting. This is a side note. We'll get back to the chat here in a sec. After that one quarter of play in the Cotton Bowl, seems like the fan base is really gone cold on Devin Brown. You guys notice that? Am I crazy? I find that interesting. I wonder why that is. Why are people suddenly out on Devin Brown? Is it because Will Howard came in? I'm just curious. I don't know. Maybe just I think people always want something new, right? Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? We got a new guy. Let's get on his back. Let's get on his train. Like with recruiting, people love recruiting because it's a new guy. It's a new guy. I don't know. Just an observation, not a judgment or anything. But yes, Odysseus, I agree. You're probably right. How soon do Brown and Keenholz bounce? I would say Devin probably bounces first. He's got less time to work with. Lincoln's got 4 more years to work with, as far as college eligibility. So I think Brown definitely bounces after spring if Saiyan comes in. But Josh says, I think he is a good hire. Talking about Bob, of course. He is running Day's offense. Exactly. This is not the Bill O'Brien offense. This is Ryan Day's offense with Bill O'Brien enhancing it, bringing his 2 cents to the table, maybe adds some little wrinkles and things like that here and there. But Josh goes on. He says he averaged 41 points a game at Bama. He had nobody on offense at New England. Exactly. Yeah, it's hard to have a good offense in the NFL if you have no players. Travis says it's a 17-game season now. You need backups as good as a starter now more than ever. Yep, about 16, but I see your point, Travis. Yeah, you got to have depth, and you got to give those starters a little bit of time off. You know, I think you're going to see that with everybody across the board. You're going to, like they do in the NFL, you got to give a guy a week or two off occasionally throughout the season. You know, um, don't have them all burn out by week 10, 11, 12. You know. Back to the chat here. Uh, Billy says, not about competition. If we had Sand first, we wouldn't have recruited Air, and Air wouldn't have wanted to come. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not, but where else would he have gone? You know. Billy says, I hope he stays. Josh says, I don't want to lose the QB from Ohio in 25 at all. Yeah, he will be special. Yeah, TSC is not going anywhere. This does not affect class of 2025. Buckeyes are set there. Sean Duffy says, are we getting Downs? I don't think so. I don't think we're getting Caleb Downs from Bama. Georgia's done everything they can to get him in, and I'm just checking right now to see if there are any latest updates on Downs. I don't think so. Staff was in Georgia. He's from Georgia, by the way. That the staff met with Downs for 4 hours yesterday, presented an NIL package that would be well over $2 million over the next 2 years, and might grow from there. But they showed a lot of film to show the family how Caleb would be used in Columbus. They gave him a lot to think about. I think, yeah, I'm not seeing anything good here. So for now, I'm going to say no. And the family said that, I think it was his dad, Caleb's dad, said he wants to have a decision within 48 hours of going into the portal. So he's been in for over a day now. So you got to assume a decision's coming today or tomorrow. Yeah, no. Odysseus says Hartline needs to learn from Bob to call plays in the future. Exactly. I think studying under Bob or Bill, either one of them, really helps. Let's see. Travis says, I hope so, Sean. Oh, that's on the Caleb Downs. Billy says exactly Odysseus on Heartline learning under Bob. Travis says we should know pretty soon exactly on Caleb Downs. Josh says Brown and Keyholes can go for Julian Sayin. I'm sorry, but Sayin might be better than both right now. I think that's legit. That's good observation, Josh. Can't argue with you. Billy says, I saw Sayin play on local TV. He was awesome with feet and arm. That's what we like to hear. We need a mobile quarterback. Hamas Hero says Sayin might end up really great, no doubt. It's just so hard to say with any recruit, especially QBs. Could regret it either way with him or Nolan. Fair point. Yeah. Don't know what you don't know, and nobody has a crystal ball, right? Josh says, I don't want to lose Nolan either. No, nobody does. And I don't think you're going to lose Aaron Nolan in 2024. You know, I think both those guys are going to end up sitting a year anyways. Nobody's going anywhere outside of Brown and Keenums. So I think both 2024 guys are sitting. Again, they weren't going to play, if at all. Definitely not start. PC says, I'm very interested to see. Oh, Stephen Cherry. What's up, Stephen? He says, competition is what it's all about. If Sam wants to come here, let him come and compete. Very simple and to the point. Could not have said it better myself, Stephen. PC says, I'm very interested to see if Day lets him bring someone else with him or makes him work with who is already on staff. From what I'm hearing so far, it looks like he might not be bringing anybody. So there may not be any other changes to the offensive staff. PC says, good call on ditching Corey Dennis. Yeah, this was an easy one. Josh says we definitely upgraded. So another vote for yes. PC says, I'll take whichever QB comes out in the wash. No more mid QBs. That's for the birds. Yes, I agree. PC says, happy trails to whichever mid QB doesn't cut it or is afraid to compete. This is Ohio State people. Yes, excellent point. Competition. Again, you got to look at this. If you're on the fence with Julian saying or Bob or whatever, you gotta look at it from Ryan Day's point of view, I think. And this is your ass. This is you have to win this year. Just making the playoffs and a 12-team playoff is not enough. Another 2-loss season, especially a loss to Michigan, you're fucking gone, dude. So, and he knows that. So he is doing everything he can. He's opening the checkbook. The NIL collectives are finally getting their shit together with the help of some local businesses and billionaires and zillionaires. So everything is on the table. And, we can't get every single stud. Like we can't necessarily get every Caleb Downs that comes along. But when a 5-star quarterback comes along that wants to be at Ohio State, you fucking take him, Billy says if Walton took over the whole DB room, we could put Laurinaitis on field and hire LJ eventual replacement. Yes, that's a good point. But they already hired Matt Ferrari to replace Perry Eliano. So we only have one spot available right now. And that's with Laurinaitis being a GA. So if you hire that D-line coach, you got to keep Laurinaitis at the GA position, which he said he's willing to do for one more year. Probably wants a nice little bump in pay, but that's not a big deal. Again, the purse is wide ass open. PC says, agreed, Billy has to. I don't see how Walton doesn't take both safeties and corners. So again, they already hired the replacement for the safety, Matt Guerreri. Jeremiah, what's up, Jeremiah? Thumbs up, man. Definite coaching upgrades. Jeremiah votes a yes. He says our Buckeyes are putting together one of, if not the most loaded Ohio State rosters ever. After this, Ohio State needs to win the championship in 2024. Yeah. You got to be in it or in the championship game, at least, if you do not win it. PC says Carlsbad is just north of San Diego. I was thinking of Calabasas. I got it mixed up. Carlsbad is just north of San Diego. Thank you. Near Legoland. Oh, is that on a map? If I Google Legoland. Anyway, Steven says, I like the coaching change. We still got a few more to get rid of. LJ, Mick, and Fry. Well, Mick's not a on-field coach, so he doesn't count towards the 10. But Larry Johnson, we need to bring in the co-D-line coach to make that transition for us. That way you don't lose any recruits, hopefully, and you don't lose any guys that are currently on the team. Fry, I can go either way on. Billy says north of Encinitas. Yeah. Enchiladas, my favorite beach town. Okay. Odysseus says, does Bob replace? Oh, shit. Fucking chat just fucked up. Backing up. Hold up. My thing just fucked up. Just relax. Odysseus says, does Bob replace Fry? That's the question. That's probably the one offensive coaching position that you think is a coin flip, right? I mean, that's a 50-50. But we'll see. PC says, that's what I'm wondering. Odysseus, yeah, I'm a zero. If they played and beat modern day, that is great. Maybe I misspoke. I don't know, man. Different modern day. Billy says different modern day. Okay. PC says SoCal football is highly competitive. Funny that they all leave and go play somewhere else. Only USC is a prime destination. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good point. PC says no one ever heard anything about Downs. Almost everything is saying, everyone's saying Georgia. Yeah. Steven says our last QB from California is still doing pretty well for the Texans. Yes, he is. Never beat Michigan though. Just I had to say it. Stir the pot. PC says it's because DB33 gets broken easily. Can't run a QB if he's injury prone. I understand that. It's fair. But he hasn't played a lot. I know he's been injured a lot. Is it the ratio of playing time to injuries is too high? I can understand that. PC says it's because DB33 gets broken easily, can't run a QB if he's injured. Yeah, I just read that. Odysseus says the backup is always Joe Montana to most fans. That's it. That's it. PC says tough break for DB33. I liked his fire. Yeah. Travis says I'm down on DB because he hasn't gotten through an entire quarter of football without getting injured. LOL. Well, I would say the offensive line and that Cotton Bowl had something to do with it. Now, his injury, what was it, against Penn State or Maryland? Shit, I forget. Anyways, his injury during the season, yeah, that was probably like a freaky thing. But I think the O-line issues in the Cotton Bowl had a big thing to do with it. So I'm not sure it's all on Devin Brown. Travis says, PC, I heard we have crazy NIL deal for Brown Downs. So if we don't get him, it's not for a lack of trying. Excellent point. Odysseus says, dream scenario is Natty combined with Hairball being forced to stay with the cheaters and the hammerheads. And we are the hammer. Christopher says, we don't need Saiyan. Okay. Not interested, huh? Okay. Odysseus says, then we get to watch him on the sidelines get his teeth kicked in by everyone. That's true, Odysseus. That roster is in shambles. If you've looked at what's going on up there, they have brought in nobody in the portal. They got decommits left and right. The cheaters roster is fucked. PC says, Odysseus, about your Montana comment, except for NFL, i.e. Davis Mills. LOL. PC says 2 million in 2 years. A lot to think about for sure. The Caleb Downs NIL deal. PC says 0 chance pocket glizzy gladiator hairball. He gone. Yeah, most likely. I'm waiting for the typical Friday 5 o'clock news dump. I should probably be checking Twitter, see if anything comes up here. Checking. Not seeing anything new. Oh, we got some breaking news from Adam Schefter. The Raiders are finalizing a deal to hire Antonio Pierce as their head coach. Okay, so there's one job out for Harbaugh. I don't even know if she interviewed there, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything else. At least yet. Back to the chat here. Travis says, didn't FSU just get in trouble for the coaches offering NIL to recruits? I'm confused about the rules. I'm sure Ryan Day was not, or the coaches were not presenting this NIL deal. I'm sure that came from a Zoom call or a phone call from the NIL collectives. You know, I know you got a good point, Travis. Although the laws are different in every state, I think they're a little more lenient in Florida, like on most things. But yeah, I don't think Ohio State coaches were saying, here's a sign, $2 million. Here's sign this contract. So I think he probably spoke to the NIL collectives. Because Ohio State is not breaking fucking rules. We know that, right? Hold on. Mm. Uh, Billy says saying could sign immediately since he's a transfer, right? Yeah. Yeah, he can sign immediately. Since Alabama had the head coaching change, all their players are free to go for the next 30 days. Same with that Michigan roster might get fleeced as well when Harbaugh takes a job. But back to the chat here. Travis says, yeah. PC says yes on the immediate transfer. PC says, day goes full. Cooper, put a fork in him. No, yeah, of course. Odysseus says the NCAA has always been inconsistent. Yeah. That's the thing, you're dealing with different state laws that work legally, and then you're dealing with the NCAA who's trying to blanket cover the entire fucking country, and just it's not apples to apples. So I'm sure Ohio State is doing everything by the book. Travis says, and the game is in the shoe. Yes, play the cheaters in the shoe this year. We really just got 3 tough ones, right? Middle of October, we go to Eugene, Oregon. That's going to be a tough ball game. Then you got, I think we're at Happy Valley to play Penn State. And then we got the cheaters in Columbus. If they show up, who knows? They may pull some fucking COVID crap out of their ass and decide to not come, to know they're going to get smoked. Billy says Day definitely coaching for his professional life this year. Yes. PC says LJ needs to be replaced for sure. That's got to happen soon. No way kids are thinking he's going to be there long. Right. But you do remember the Ryan Day press conference on signing day back on December 20th, when he had to step out of the room during the press conference and take a call from Edric Houston, because Houston was getting those rumors fed from other schools, his own camp, even his own team were telling Edric Houston that Larry Johnson was going to retire right now, like in January. So Ryan Day had to talk to him directly and tell Edric, no, that's not true. Now you're fucking stuck. If you're Ryan Day, you got to keep LJ on the staff for at least another year. But you can work your way out of it with bringing on a co-DL, D-line coach, Back to the chat here. Badass Buckeye, what's up, Bab? He says, are they paying Heartline more money than O'Brien? I don't know. They haven't released any salaries yet. They will eventually because it's a public university. They'll release all the coaches' salaries. But I would imagine, I think Heartline's making like 1.6 mil. I bet you O'Brien's making more than that. As play caller, offensive coordinator, that's definitely going to be more than Heartline. Travis says, I doubt it. Yeah, I agree, Travis. PC says, good point, Joe. Line has to get better and can't do anything without it. That's, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it's a team game. Travis says, I'm not even convinced the cheaters will win 9 games this year for real. I'm not arguing with you there, Travis. I'm taking the under, whatever the hell it is. When they release those team win totals, I'm taking the under for sure. PC says, I'm thinking 8-4, going to get ugly for those bastards. Odysseus says, I see 6 losses for the cheaters. Wow, that's aggressive, but I like it. Billy says the cheaters finally have a real schedule. Oh my God. You guys looked at their schedule? We can run through it here real quick just for shits and goggles. 2024 schedule. You ever meet anybody from Canada that says schedule? Cracks me up. So yeah, they got week 2, Texas Longhorns. Week 4, USC Trojans. Both of those are in Ann Arbor, so you got a little leeway there. Let's see, week 6 at Washington in Seattle. Your lucky Pennis got away. 6, 7, 8, 9. Week 9, Oregon again in Ann Arbor. But they got the Ducks coming in, and then of course week 12, the Buckeyes. They're in the rest of their conference schedules weak as fuck. Of course, their non-con is weak as fuck. Fresno State, Arkansas State, Minnesota, Illinois, Michigan State, Hoosiers, and Northwestern. So, yeah. This is the time to go, Harbaugh, you pussy, when the going gets tough. Travis says USC could beat them. Oh, yeah. If they could feel a defense for USC, yeah, they could beat them. I'm curious to see who USC's quarterback will be. We'll see. Billy says the Oregon game might define our season. Yeah. I think that's one acceptable loss I'm willing to take on the season, looking at our schedule. That's the one I'm willing to take. If we go in, we take on the cheaters in Columbus, week 12, with one loss, I got no problem with that. But that better be the loss, not some garbage Iowa game or something, you know. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the like button. I appreciate it. We got over 100 people in here viewing the show. Only 10 likes. That's not a great batting average. Please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, Sunday night, we'll be back at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Back to the chat here. As my friends get lonely. Travis says if Hairball leaves, those 2 D tackles they have might transfer, maybe Edwards, probably more. Yeah. Yeah, that portal is going to heat up. PC says understood about Houston, but LJ has got to pass on the baton at some point. Yep. And I think you got to do this kind of, softly with kid gloves. You got to make this an easy transition where you bring in hopefully a Jason Taylor. He's co-D-line coach. And then you kind of, hand the job off over a season, over a year. By this time next year, it's Jason Taylor's job. Plain and simple, cut and dry. That's what I'm hoping. Billy says we lost Scott and Lightfoot to NIL. Yep, we did. We did not lose them to Jason Taylor, in my opinion. Again, to kind of balance the Jason Taylor argument, he hasn't been doing it. He's been a coach for a couple of years, and he was at a high school before that, St. Thomas Aquinas. So, Travis says Oregon is the only game I'm nervous about. Then I think it'll be Oregon, OSU, and Indianapolis, and we'll both make the 12-team playoff. Yeah, that plays out right. That jives in my mind, Travis. I agree. Billy says, me too. Lanning is a real coach. Yeah. And those guys are not afraid to use the portal, and they're also recruiting like motherfuckers. So they're doing it all in the talent acquisition area. Although I'm not a Dylan Gabriel fan. Screw that guy. He's got no arm, just runs around. PC says the cheaters up north 2024 equals karma. Yes. Travis says he's got the juice about Dan Lanning. Billy says, I think Washington will have a big drop off this year. Yeah, they're losing some dudes, aren't they? Travis says USC QB is that Moss kid, right? He balled out in their bowl game. Yeah, I don't know if that's who their default move is. Is that the move Lincoln Riley makes, or does he try and bring in somebody in the portal again, like in spring? I don't know. We'll see. Um, Odysseus says they lose a lot of players to the portal. They might lose to Minnesota or Illinois. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, their roster is going to be equally as bad. Travis says Washington is definitely going to take a step back. That guy who coached Arizona is a good coach, but their roster is in a rebuild this year. Yeah, Jed Fish, the Fisherman. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of him, but um, especially losing a quarterback like Penix, um, receivers. What are they bringing back in that area? It's going to be tough sledding for the first couple of years. Billy says Dylan Gabriel is hot and cold. Yeah, yeah, he is. I was surprised that Oklahoma let him go, or maybe they encouraged him. I don't know. That seems surprising to me. Though. I'm not sure why they would go that route. But oh boy, lively show, lively show. So I think we're all in agreement that trading Bill O'Brien for Corey Dennis is a win-win, right? Corey should have never gotten that job, in my opinion. They should have let him go to Colorado State. But yeah, supposedly he was under pressure from Herb to give the kid the fucking job. So who knows? Travis asks, did Ryan Grubb go to Bama with DeBoer? Yes, he did. Yep, he is the OC. I'm kind of concerned for Kalen DeBoer hiring all these MAC coaches and um, FCS coaches, like South Alabama coach, the Buffalo guy. Um, is that the answer? They might be great coaches, you know, and they're taking like coordinator or assistant positions, but I don't know, man. Bama fans are not going to put up with that shit. 8-4, they will set your fucking house on fire, man. But I do like Ryan Grubb. I definitely would have taken him. Um, but you can see what Ryan Day was looking for, right? You can see he was looking for somebody with NFL experience, a ton of experience on top of that. He wanted somebody that could come in, call plays, learn the offense, know the offense. And Ryan Day's system is an offensive or an NFL professional style offense. So you got to bring in an NFL coordinator. And he's done that. Again, 30, 40 years. Bill O'Brien's seen a lot, and he's still relatively young. I mean, he's 54. It's not too old. He's not a big recruiter from what I hear, although looks like he got Julian Sayin to Bama. Odysseus says the Combs hire, Fleming hire, and Dennis Orion's three biggest mistakes. Yeah. He's fired some guys. He's not quickly though. you know, what's he fired? Like 8 guys in 5 years? Billy says Bama was a mid team before Saban. Yes. Might be again for a while. That's what I'm thinking. I think they got a short fuse for Kalen DeBoer. I think he gets 2 years tops. And if they aren't, they'll probably stumble their way into the playoffs this year, just because their roster, the people that have stayed around, anyways. But they might make it into that 12th seed, in the playoffs, but they're not going to sniff the final 4. Definitely not the final 2, but yeah, it might be. It's most of us, of a certain age, have seen these cycles. How these teams in college football go in cycles. Same in the NFL. Same in any sport, really, for the most part. But in college football, there's cycles. These teams cycle back around. The Ohio State is one of the few teams that has never gone in a major down cycle. Like a Michigan with Rich Rod or Brady Hoke, or like USC after Pete Carroll left, Bama pre-Saban, you know, that was a major down cycle. Georgia after Mark Richt left before Kirby came in, they had a bunch of meatballs going through there. So Buckeyes don't go through major ups and downs as a program. Pretty consistent and high level consistent. Right, not right now. You know, we're near our peaking, but you know, we never just fall off a cliff. And you can't count 2011. Please don't. Um, that was like the most unfair situation Luke Fickell could have ever been put in, or any coach, whoever would have been the interim coach. That season doesn't fucking count, man. That was garbage, anyways. We all know that. So, and even still, as so you went from Trestle, toilet, what, 6 and 7? Is that where we went? I think lost in the Gator Bowl to the Gators. How's that work? Anyways, then boom, Herb comes in 2012, we go 12-0. So yeah, again, we don't have major, especially long downturns into the toilet. So yeah, I don't see that ever happening. But all right, folks, I'm gonna bounce. I gotta make some food. I gotta make a drink, both at the same time. So appreciate everybody popping in. Last comment goes to Odysseus. He says closest is the end of Bruce tenure and early Cooper. Yeah, 9-3 Earl. Yeah, he had those last couple of years where he, you know, was falling off a little bit, but yeah, early Cooper took a bit of time to get some recruits coming in there and stuff. Uh, so yeah, that was a long time ago though, man. That was like fucking 80s into the 90s. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate you. Don't forget to hit that like button and join us Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here. All right. We'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.